All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to my channel, Math Made Easy with Terry in 10 minutes. Okay. All right. So, the last video we talked about the general rules on how to solve it. And I gave you 5 rules where I said the first you have to rearrange the equation such that the y and the y on the left-hand side, the x and the x on the right-hand side, you integrate. After you integrate, you make y as the subject of the formula. After you do that, then the next thing you do is to, if you have extra information, to find the value for c and replace the value for c. All right. So let's assume we have this question on the board where we have y is equal to 2 and x is equal to 3. And they say find the general solution for this. Now, this is a differential equation. You can see because we have the y over the x as well as the x function and the y function here. Good. So remember I told you the first step. So that means before you watch this video, please try and review the previous video and try to understand the 5 rules we talked about. And also, another way you can also learn is that you can pause this video and try and solve it and see if we get the same answer, then come back and play it and be sure. All right, so let's go. Now we have this. Remember the first thing I said is that you have to rearrange the equation such that you have all the y and the y's on the right-hand side, on the left-hand side, and the x and the x on the right-hand side. So you can see here, I can just cross multiply. So the y multiplied by 6y squared will be equal to the x multiplied by x squared minus 5. You can see, done. I have all the y and the y's on the left-hand side, and I have all the dx and the x on the what? Right-hand side. Now, the next step I told you was then to integrate. So we're going to integrate each and every one of them. So when you integrate the y, it goes away, and you're left with 6y squared. You need to go back to my video to where I talked about how to integrate. I showed the basics. Basically, when you have a raised power n and you're integrating it, it's going to be a raised power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1. Does that make sense? I have a video on this, so just go to the channel, check the playlist under the integration, and you will see where I talked about how to integrate. So when you integrate this, it's going to become 6y. You add 1 to this, 2 plus 1 will give you 3 divided by what? 3. Can you see? You add 1 to the power divided by the new power. The same thing. Integrate this, it's going to go away. And you're going to have x. 2 plus 1 will give you 3 divided by 3 minus. When you integrate a constant, it's going to give you what? X to the power 1, because if you integrate, it's the same thing as saying 5x to the power 0. Okay? So remember that 5 is the same thing as 5x to the power 0. So it's going to be 5x 0 plus 1 divided by 0 plus 1. And that will give you 5x divided by 1. And that will give you 5x. Okay? So we talked about this in the previous video. All right? So please go back and have a look and review how to integrate. Now, I remember when you're done with this, you have to add what? Plus c, because an indefinite integral. Now, we've done that, and this is the what? The expression for this. But step 3 now said that you have to make y split of the formula, okay? So you can do that. So you can simplify this. It's going to give you 2y cubed is equal to x cubed over 3 minus 5x plus c. In order to remove this 2, I'm going to multiply both sides by 1 over 2, okay? I'm going to multiply both sides by what? 1 over 2. And when I do this, this will cancel this. It will become y cubed is equal to x cubed over 6 minus 5 over 2x plus c over what? 2. Now, in order to remove this cube, I'll take the cube root of both sides. The cube root of both sides. So this will cancel this. So we have y will be equal to the cube root of x cubed over 6 minus 5 over 2x plus C over what? 2. Now we've gotten that. But we can't just stop here because we know the value for X and Y, all right? So to make it easy, all right, so we know that X was equal to 3 and Y was equal to 2. So because we know these values, we can find C. So what do we do? I'm gonna use this equation here, okay? The unsimplified version to make it easy, all right? So I know that from asterisk, okay, we know that 6y cubed over 3 is equal to x cubed over 3 minus 5x plus c. All right, I'll make c subject of the formula now. So c will be equal to 6x cubed over 3 minus x cubed over 3 plus 5x. All right, so we can get c now because I know my x to be 3 and my y to be 2. So I put it into the equation now. So it's going to be 2 cubed over 3 minus 3 cubed over 3 plus 3. And when you press this in your calculator, it should give you what? 22. So therefore, C is equal to 22. Now that we know the C to be equal to 22, step 5, we have to go back and replace it into this equation here. All right. So we'll now do that. So it will now become Y will be equal to the cube root of x cubed over 6 minus 5 over 2x plus 22 over 2. And this will be the answer. But we can simplify 22 over 2, okay? And that will give you 11. So that means I can write it here to be what? 11. And the answer for this expression is y is equal to the cube root of s cubed over 6 minus 5 over 2x plus 11. All right. That will bring us to the end for this video. In the next video, I might pick one more example, maybe one that has maybe trig in it. It's still the same thing. Maybe we can try, maybe see if we can use a chain rule or something, but or any form of rules, or integration by parts, or integration by substitution, or something else. But regardless of how the question comes, it's still the same thing. All right. The way you will be integrating the earlier videos, all the rules, you just apply them and you get them. All right. So remember, the first thing is that you have to make sure that the y and the y is on the left-hand side, the dx and the x on the right-hand side. You integrate as normal. Then you make y subject of the formula. Then you can go back to the original one to look for c. If you know x and y, then you substitute c back into the equation. All right. So I'll see you in the next video. That might be the last for this one, or I might add more depending on what the viewers, the viewers request. Okay. But I will solve one more example, and I hope that will drive home the point I'm trying to explain in this video series. All right, so I'm going to see you in the next video.